Okay, so I've had a look through the technology tree, and it's a really generic um, kind of standard tree for this race. So I didn't see anything particularly special here. Um, so we'll just go with here we can go get extra moves with artificial gravity, which is really important. Early you want to increase the move speed of your ships to expand faster. And we also get the space elevator, which is a construction improvement. And next we'll probably get this administrative. So I want the basic spammable factories, because a space elevator you can only have one on a planet, but factories you can spam them. So I want to get the basic production going, and also I need administrators, because you need an administrator for every colony ship, for every survey ship, for every starbase like constructor. For so these are the two priorities. I'll start with this, and that's it for now. We end the turn. We have an idle ship. Okay. This is building. Let's see. I might rush this one as well. 500 credits. Yeah, I rush it. And what will this give me? Doesn't give anything. A charge that will boost construction on the selected world. That's fine. The thulium extractor gives me gross income and thulium. So I think that's a bigger priority. Next turn. You can see our influence is expanding already, so once it reaches the asteroids I can build some bases there. Maybe I can rush this now. It only costs 34 credits because it's so close to being done. So early on it's worth micromanaging this kind of thing. Okay, so now we can do it in 2 turns, so that's good. Oh, actually that rushing doesn't do anything because I still need to wait for next turn. Well, it does, yeah, it does something. I get an extra turn on the next one already, free, so yeah, it does something. No planets here, unfortunately. I guess I'll move on to in this direction. Alright, we have our first ideology event. Our people would like to send a beacon out into the universe. A message to the other starfaring races we will one day meet. Send a message of peace and hope. This gives me +5 benevolent, +1 diplomacy, -10% soldiering. So I'll be weaker in invasions, defending. I'm already weak against invasions. It is a waste of time. Put the resources toward more practical measures. This gives +5 pragmatic and +100 credits. Send a message telling them to prepare for their eventual enslavement. So that's +5 malevolent, -1 diplomacy, and +10% soldiering. So there's 3 ideologies. You have benevolent, pragmatic, and malevolent. They're quite self-explanatory. You're either good guys, or you're either a neutral, pragmatic guy, or you are, evil. But you can actually make mixed choices as well, but it's good to not dabble too much in multiple ideologies because it's expensive, so you won't be able to progress much. Especially on a smaller galaxy, you have less of these choices. So I like to role play the race that I am playing. So this race is a friendly, benevolent race. And the +1 diplomacy actually is very good for us because we are a diplomatic race and we want to be, we want other races to be happy with us. Okay, so our colony ship is done. It's important to only load the minimum, so you can load more population. As you can see, it takes away population from Tywomia. But you only want to load the minimum into it because the more population Tywomia has, the more production it has, and for everything, research, income, manufacturing. And also you will need population for the next colony ship. So especially now in the beginning, our growth is pretty low. As you can see, the colonization center gives +003, which is a big boost to the base growth rate. Okay, so I am tempted to colonize this first planet, even though this, as you can see, it's class 4, so it's a very low quality planet. It does have an artifact though. But once you colonize your second planet, you can choose a government. And that gives some bonuses. So it's good to get a government going early. But I have very close to me here, I have another star. So I am going to peek and check out that star before I, maybe if there's nothing here, then I will colonize this. Okay. So the thulium extractor is done. Let's get the other artifact sorted. Actually, I might want to do the computer core. Because my research is really weak. So I need to kickstart it for now, and then later we'll see. And I get the nanofabricator starter as well done. These farms are, you know, it's nice to have food, but they take up space. You can destroy them if you want, but we'll think about that later. Next turn. Okay, so I have an asteroid here. I can build a mining base. It costs 100 credits, so it's an investment, but it takes 3 weeks to build, but it will give a bonus to my production. And artificial gravity is done. Gives +1 moves. I wanted to go for the space elevator, but it's 5 turns. And I already see that my administration capacity, I only have 1 more administrator, which I need for colony ships. So I'm going to actually switch and go for this colonial administration to get an administrator and to go towards a factory. On turn 10 I will get a citizen. It's not shown here yet. Actually, yeah, it shows next citizen in 6 weeks. And then I can do an administrator that will give me administration. Can we get something here? Alright, next colony ship is done. Okay, perfect. So if I click on the star, if you click on the star, it actually shows all the planets, all the habitable planets here. So it shows that there's one more here hidden. Let's see, class 10, class 9. It also shows the trade resources it has. These precursor nanites and Orthocarpus viriles are trade resources. You can look them up on the wiki if you want to know before you colonize. I'll link the wiki in the video description. I don't know. Orthocarpus viriles are used for spies, I believe. Precursor nanites are helpful for research, but most of these are used for several different purposes. So let's see, class 10, class 9, and the other one which is not visible is class 9 as well, and also has a trade resource. We'll colonize this class 10 one. Alright, so we have our first colony. And whenever you colonize, you get an ideology event like this. Let's see. So, mysterious natives. This world has a group of mysterious nomadic natives who carry with them relics far more advanced than the rest of their technology. Their oral history gives hints that they arrived here from a long journey some hundreds of years earlier, and your scientists get the impression they're a failed colony which has regressed to pre-industrial levels. It's possible some of their relics could be of interest to your researchers, but they're quite valuable to the natives. What are your orders? Leave the natives and their treasures be. Begin documenting their fascinating oral history, however, which may be of interest to others in our culture. So this is our benevolent pick. Plus 10 benevolent, 10% influence. But we can get plus 10 pragmatic and plus 10% population growth. And we can get plus 10 malevolent and plus 10% research. So yeah, the malevolent one will say, these fools don't know the power of the trinkets they hold. Take them from them for their own safety and also sure for our benefit. Yeah, we're taking the benevolent here and we get the 10% influence, that's helpful. Although population growth is perhaps even more important early. Okay. Yeah, it kinda sucks that we don't have the space elevator yet. As you can see, I cannot build anything here because... So... The industrial center and the colonization center are unique. They're player achievement, one per player. And I don't have the space elevator, which is one per planet. And I don't have my factories, which are spammable. But supply depot, however, you can only put on... You cannot put on the capital. And it's one, but you can put on all your other planets. And this gives plus 10% construction and morale. 15%. Let's see. This trade resource gives plus level to population and wealth. Yeah. We want adjacent tiles, but we don't. This is not a very good layout. I'll put it here for now. Actually, yeah, here. There's a big difference also, something to keep in mind there is raw values and there's percentage bonuses. Early on, the raw values are much more important. So you can see here, you have raw production 2.5. And then you have a percentage from a leader, which is 6%. So you want a decent raw value before you stack bonuses. But right now our population is only 1. And the population is the basis for the raw production. So you can see here you have colony capital +1, population effect +1, which is because it's only 1. So, and then high approval 25%. Rushing this is expensive, 1000, it's not worth it anymore. Okay, so now that we have expanded beyond our homeworld, the colonists are crying out for structure. It is time for us to choose a form of government that is ready to handle a galactic civilization. Alright, great, let's get started. We can have Colonial. As you can see, there's lots of governments here, not going to go into them right now. But each of them requires something like technology or something else to unlock. So we have Colonial, gives us social construction bonus, growth bonus, they are modest bonuses. But we can send missions from shipyards. And our colony limit is 5. We can have 5 colonies, and if we have more than that, we get an approval penalty. Holds elections, because it's a democratic government. We have brought peace and enlightenment to our planet. It is our responsibility to bring it to the worlds beyond. Or Imperial, which is our history is littered with once great empires who stopped conquering and fell to ruin. We will not be one of them. This gets a big ship construction bonus, 20%. Well, it's pretty big for early game. And the moves +1 is the biggest bonus. You get faster ships. And you have a higher colony limit of 6, but a diplomacy bonus of -1. So we are a benevolent diplomatic race. We are going to go with the Colonial. But when you select a government, you have to wait 26 weeks before you can change it again, so you have to consider carefully. This is a nice thing about the government choice, is that it's a meaningful choice and you need to commit. You commit for 26 turns basically. Alright. What do we have here? Nothing. I guess I should be able to peek at this. Even if it's out of my range, I should be able to see it. And another colony ship. As you can see, my administrator capacity is 0 now. And these are the missions which I have access to with this government. So you'll get lots more missions when you unlock technologies. But this is a treasure hunt. Basically subsidizes a private venture to unknown places to find and collect valuable artifacts. I use ship construction production and I get money from it. So you can transform extra production into money. We have another colony ship going to pick up one of these planets here. This has food. And ideology. We have all our benevolent choices here, and we have a pragmatic and malevolent. Each one has 4 main lines. Let's see, but we focus on benevolent. We could go for outreach. And of course you can pick multiples of these over time, so you're not locked into one line, but usually the further you go on a line, the more powerful the bonuses are, so you want to kind of focus on something. The first one is about colonization. You get a free fully loaded colony ship. This is really strong. And I get a planet, and my colonies start with extra population. Each colony receives one additional tile and grants a class 16 planet. Or I could go for affinity, which gives me approval bonuses. Or prominence gives influence bonuses mainly. I will want this eminence soon anyway, because I want to build a missionary center, which produces a benevolent ideology point every 10 turns, which is important later once you don't have so many ideology choices anymore, so you can continually produce benevolent points to spend to upgrade this further. But it's really expensive to build this missionary center, so I don't think it's worth it to pick up as the first choice, really. I'm going to go for the free fully loaded colony ship. And it's not only because I get to cheat out an extra colony ship, which even doesn't cost me administrative points even, but I get extra population, so it's loaded with 5 billion people. And what I want to do is I'll actually load those people onto the capital. That will give me a lot of extra production. So we'll put it on back to the capital. Let's see, now we have... So now our population went up very high. Only problem is that the approval is a problem now. But we get a lot more production. So raw production, as you can see, population effect is +8. But let's see if we take away maybe... I just take one anyway, just one. Now we have a bit higher approval. And I can still lower my taxes further. Yeah, so if I lower my taxes to 0, I still get only 91% approval. Going to need some approval bonus. But I will get more colony ships out, which will lower the population anyway. Since these planets are so close here, maybe I shouldn't focus on colonizing them all. I should need to expand here and explore. That's a good question. Do I just pick up these early planets? Oh, I'll pick them up because of the extra production that I'll get early. This reminds me that I forgot to do something, so here in the shipyard you can have multiple planetary sponsors, and whenever you get a new planet you can assign it here. You have a maximum of 5. And they need to be nearby because, as you can see, if it shows this is 11 tiles away, so it gets a distance decay of 12%, minus 12%. So that's fine, that's a small price to pay, so that's okay. But if you have planets further away, then you want to build new shipyards there. But now we can focus here all these planets to this single shipyard, which will be useful. Colonies around our civilization have begun celebrating anniversaries of various colonial milestones. This has led to a very confusing holiday calendar but generally increased happiness throughout our civilization. Alright, so plus 10% approval for 10 turns, that helps. And yeah, we are in the we are losing money here every turn, but that's fine. For a long time, that's going to be fine. You'd rather have high approval and lose money than have low approval. Okay. I don't have anything to do here yet. I'm waiting for factory. But for now, I'll start building farms. Okay. So we have... Okay, so we have a precursor planet here. Precursor planets are very powerful. As you can see here, it's a very high class as well, class 18 perfect. But it gets plus 5 raw production, which is a big bonus, and plus 50% research. So this is like the perfect planet for a technology capital. But it requires pretty advanced technology, atmospheric cleansing to colonize, so it doesn't help us for now. I already have a notification here now. You need more administrators to build more star bases. So yeah, I need more administrators when... Yeah. Alright, patriotic celebrations. A wave of patriotism spurred on by strong governmental approval is sweeping our worlds. Many highlight this as a golden age for our civilization, and we will remember this as a key moment when we'll all stood together. So a permanent plus 10% invasion resistance. This is actually really nice. Oh yeah, by the way, we are getting this because we have very high approval. So this is another good reason to keep very high approval, is you get such bonuses like this. And the permanent plus 10% invasion resistance, it undoes part of our negatives that we get from our race weaknesses. So we have a weakness. Where is it? It doesn't show it here. By the way, where do we get that morale bonus? Oh yeah, hopeful. So this hopeful gets plus one morale on all planets. Yeah, that's a race bonus. And we finished our research. Now we can build cities, but that's for later. We don't need them yet. But this is how we raise our population cap. It gives plus 3 population. And we have plus 1 administrator, which is what interests us. And now I want colonial settlements, which also will give 1 administrator. But it will give factories, which is important. I can spam manufacturing buildings. Alright. So let's colonize. Subspace resonator. We found an abandoned sensor platform in orbit with a strange sensor array in it. It's a sealed unit and we're pretty sure that opening it will render it unusable. But there's nothing stopping us from deploying it on a planet or vessel. We should deploy it to a planet to help protect our citizens. So that's plus 25 benevolent and the subspace resonator improvement. So that's going to be a planetary improvement that we can build on our planet. I don't know what it does, but we'll see. We could give it... We could get a component if we pick pragmatic or malevolent. we will get a ship component which gives powerful sensors, looks like. So yeah, I will go with the benevolent option. Let's see, subspace resonator B. You can only build one of them. Greatly increases the sensor power of a single colony. I don't know if this is very useful, but maybe if you have a board, yeah. If you have somewhere on your borders with a different civilization, you can build this and get high sensor power. So we get Honor Spice, which gives research. This gives +2 level of research around here. And it also gives the Honor Spice, which is a trade resource. It's used for various things. Yeah. We get +2 population here. Here is where we will want to place a city then, because the arable land gives +2 population as well, so that would give +4. For now we can only build a supply depot, and we don't even have a good place to place it. I would want to place it here, but then I don't have space here to place other construction buildings. It's really bad layout on this planet. We need to get planetary improvements. I guess I'll plop this down here for now. No, I'll put it here, because I want to put the space elevator here in the colony capital, next to the colony capital, because the colony capital gives +1 level to construction and everything basically. So and we get another planet. Force bubble. We found the remains of a precursor ship. Although it's badly damaged, there's still some sort of advanced shield system operating on it. We think we can salvage it intact, but if we wanted to take it apart, we might learn how to boost the strength of all our ship's shields. Let's keep it intact, but tune the field so it can protect an entire fleet. So that gives +2 benevolent. We get a force bubble component, which will protect the entire field. Okay, that gives shield to all ships in fleet. This is really nice. The pragmatic option gives +15% shield strength to all ships. And the malevolent gives a powerful single ship force bubble component. I think in this case actually the benevolent option is probably the best, at least short term. But regardless, anyway, as I said, I'm role-playing a benevolent civilization, so I would pick benevolent anyway. One thing for which you might want to pick pragmatic option is this negotiator. For the first option here from the negotiator tree, which is no one will declare war on us for the next 50 turns. This can be very useful if it's timed right. It would buy you 50 turns in which you are safe to develop your civilization, because early on the AI gets a lot of bonuses, and you don't want an early war with AIs, and they will become antsy and aggressive at some point. So, and now we get 2 benevolent picks that we can use. But we'll continue with this in the next episode.